What's up YouTube, Webbers5 here, coming at you today with a deck profile update for Endymion post Banlist for Legacy of Destruction. So for those who saw the Banlist, the best Pendulum monster ever constructed just got limited. So we can play it again, and I've already found some very good ways of synergizing it in with the deck. So without further ado guys, let's get into the profile. Okay guys, so starting the profile up with the Endymion side, which in my case rarely changes per profile. Playing 3 Spell Power Mastery, 3 Mighty Master, 3 Servant, 2 Majespecter, and 1 Reflection. Basically, I think the only main thing I've changed between the last one is the number of Majespecter. Playing it at 2 for the moment because I know with the new Diabell Snake Eyes support, they've now got that new Diabell star that basically says you have to set spells before you can activate them, which essentially works the same as Anti-Spell fragrance, which means we can't play Pendulums. So the way I figure it, by playing multiple Majespecter, if I can just hard normal summon that and I can set up Citadel with counters, then at least I can still generate negates onto the board. Mythical Beasts. Playing 3 Institution, 2 Cerberus, 2 Jackal King, 1 Garuda, 1 Basilisk, 1 Jackal, and 1 Mythical Bestiary. So I'm pretty sure that the only main race theory I've changed is I cut the 1 Cerberus because I did need to make some space for some other stuff. Thinking about pumping the Bestiary to 3. Again, because of the Diabell Star stuff, because on top of it saying we have to set spells before we can use them, I believe they've got something new coming out that states if a back row is set, they get to pop it. So Bestiary works as a good bait for that. If you choose to set that and then just go effect pop it, you go like cool effect summon something from the deck and put a spell counter on it. So free generation. Next, my Spellbook Package, which has not changed. So 1 Magician of Prophecy, 1 Secrets, 1 Knowledge. Just shrunk down the engine because I just essentially want to try and go Crowley, get my search, without trying to brick too much, because when you hit that 1 Knowledge, it can be quite annoying. And then the last card in the monster lineup, released from the ban list after several years. I'm trying to think, when did this card get banned? I think it was 2016, so that's like what? After 8 years, Majespecter Unicorn Kieran. So for those who have played Pendulum in the past, from like way back in Pendulum Edition format, you know what this does. For those that don't, I'll give you the quick rundown. As a Majespecter, it can't be targeted, can't be destroyed by an opponent's card effects. Kieran's individual effect. During either player's turn, you can target a Pendulum you control and a card your opponent controls. Is it a card or a monster? Oh yeah, it's a monster. Target a Pendulum you control and a monster your opponent controls, bounce both to hand. So, the fun thing about this in Endymion is because we play Selene, which can just let us special summon a spellcaster from hand or graveyard. The fun thing you can do with it is, if you've used up one of your negates and you want it again, you can be like, Kirin effect, target the negate you've already used and a monster your opponent controls, bounce both to hand. Selene effect, remove 3, special it back, or instantly special summon it back. The other fun thing you can do with it is, Kirin, target itself and something else, bounce, and then again, Selene, summon it back, and then you get to use Kirin multiple times in turn even though you've only got 1. So yeah, this is going to be a lot of fun. I was thinking about playing like Majespecter Raccoons to try and search it, but since I know Droll is still kind of pretty huge in this format, I didn't want to have too many ways of just getting shut down by Droll, so currently just playing the Kirin on its own is like probably something I would search off beyond the Pendulum. And from as you guys saw, I'm playing Mythical Bestiary, so if this was to get milled, I've got access to it there as well with Selene. The other option I could do is, because it's a level 6 spellcaster, I could play Magician's Souls. But for the moment, I just kind of want to test it around as it is, and then maybe I'll think about doing some ways of like turboing into it later. Because like if I want to just turbo the BTP, I can do things like Chronograph, Dark Worm, all the other main Pendulum ones. But as I said, for now, I just want to test it at 1, see what the format's going to be like. And so that's it all for the main engines and monsters. Moving into the remainder of my spell lineup, because of the new, what are they called now? Sangen, which for those who don't know is the TCG name. That would be Tenpai Dragons. So from what I've seen about them, they're hugely reliant on their field spell to do their mass OTK. So as a kind of dealing with that of blocking their field spell, going back into a set rotation build. So I'm playing set rotation, terraforming, and then field spells, Chicken Game, Necro Valley, Secret Village, and Citadel. So when I found out that this new deck is kind of very reliant on their field spell to do stuff, I thought to myself, easiest way to stop that, block their access to the field spell. So, and plus I know Snake Eyes is very heavily reliant on their spell, so if I can turbo into the Secret Village to stop them from playing, great. So, and I figured Chicken Game's legal now, so that's just another field spell. So that's just a free draw and a free spell counter. So now I've got 4 different field spells, so set rotation's a bit more viable to play. I understand people's reason is they don't want to use it because naturally that's kind of just a lot of individual one-off cards. But but as I said, most of this is just giving it a try. But for those who want to play like maybe a minimum package, I'd at least probably recommend main decking the Secret Village to block out spells, because as I said, the Sanjin is heavily reliant on their field spells, Snake Eyes is quite reliant on their field spells, and naturally we've got things like with Engage at 3, you might see a resurgence of Sky Strikers, and naturally I'm main decking the Necro Valley because I know Orcus is now back at full power, so they might start making resurgence as well. So, just a matter of me thinking ahead for the moment. And then the last cards in my spell lineup. 3 Upstart Goblin, 3 easy spell counters, 3 easy draws, 3 easy side cards. True Triple Tactics Talent, I cut down the 3rd one because I needed to make space for other stuff. And then last cards in my main deck, my 2 one-off spells, 1 Call by the Grave, 1 Instant Fusion. So that's it for them. So that's it for the main deck. Going into the extra deck, playing 1 Crowley, Spellbook Engine, obviously. 1 Beyond the Pendulum, kind of a bit best now because now you'd want to be using it for, as I said, the Kieran. But as I said, I'm probably going to test around to see how necessary I feel I want the Kieran, so I'll test around to see if I want like turbo engines to like turbo into this, similar to how we used to do it with Electromite. But I will think it through. 2 copies of Selene, because like Selene's a lot better now because of Kieran, allows you to just reuse a lot more of your stuff. Reusing the Kieran alone is really good, but naturally reusing things like a Mighty Master Negate or a Jackal King Negate could be really useful. So, but yeah, I'm liking it at 2. 1 Millennium Eyes, Instant Fusion as the natural Instant Fusion target and a way to block hand traps. Access Code Talker, FTK, OTK. 1 Appaloosa, additional negates. 1 Dark Charmer, 1 Light Charmer, 1 Dark and 1 Light Charmer. Just easy way to try and just link climb if you've got minimal resources. And sometimes your opponent might have a pretty decent monster you just want to rob. I've done some fun stuff with Liner in the past. I think probably the most fun thing I've done was it was against Gold Pride Punk, so I made Dark Charmer, stole one of their Darks. I had 3 monsters, including the Dark, on my field. I linked off with their Psychic End Punisher into Underworld Goddess. found a way to put another monster on the field because because Underworld Goddess is light attribute. Make the liner rob the Psychic End Punisher. Because of the mass difference in life points, go to battle phase, pump it, smack my opponent with a hugely buffed Psychic End Punisher. And then also just explain one Underworld Goddess just because it's useful as that nice little kaiju summon that you can just rob something off the field. One IP, just because IP is pretty standard, right? Pretty standard. One Relinquished Anima, because of the Baby Jackal. I can make this Baby Jackal searchable, and this is just nice in those situations when your opponent's not paying attention to their zones. One Artemis, this is just an easy thing to go into if you happen to brick with the Spellbook of Knowledge and you've only got Pendulums. Then my one Synchro I'm playing, one Chaos Angel, so I use one of the level 4 Mythical Beasts and Jackal King. This makes a Chaos Angel that gives all your monsters to battle immunity and gives it its own protection that it's unaffected by your opponent's activated monster effects. And the on-summon banish is quite nice, and frankly, because Endymion doesn't play tuners, it's just a nice way of surprising the opponent. And then last card of my extra deck, I threw this in after tweaking around a bit, because sometimes this does come up if I don't have the damage. One Red Eyes Flare Metal Dragon, just as a way to like put pressure on my opponent to try and just burn them out for game. Then moving into my side deck, this is what I'm playing for the format. 3 tactics thrust. Lots of good targets I can just search off. My back row removal choice: 1 Feather Duster and 2 Cyclone. Because despite that Anti-Spell fragrance got hit to 1, about damn time in my opinion. There's sometimes still stuff that you just want to like be able to board clearance. Plus things like Labyrinth is still pretty big in the format right now, so just sometimes just resolving a Feather Duster or cycloning the right card can be really useful. Next in my side deck, a bit more techy based on the format. I'm playing 3 Spell Shattering Arrow. So Spell Shattering pops all face-up spells on the opposing field and then burns them 500 for each. Thought of putting this back in after I've seen a bit of a rise in Snake Eye and Voiceless Voice, because the Voiceless Voice continuous spell is quite annoying. Naturally, Snake Eye put themselves in the back row as continuous spells. So having this as a disruption option to those, pretty useful, and also naturally as I said, Sanjin, they're caring about their field spells. Field spells seem to be becoming a bit more of a thing, so just another way of field spell clearance, and also just a nice way of burning. 3 Imperm. I don't really like the idea of playing like monster-style hand traps, because I know Thrust and Imperm I just like. And last card in my side deck, 3D Barrier. So with a bit of a diverse format that we're in, because I've got, as I said, because Voiceless Voice is still pretty good, so the fact that the ritual part of this coming up is pretty good. My locals, I've still got a couple people on Telements. The Synchro is kind of less important now because Baron and Savage just got banned, but sometimes it comes up. And naturally just generically good disruption against certain rogue decks that you don't anticipate. Okay guys, so that was the profile. Hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, leave a comment down below of what you thought about it, and also like the video. I'll probably give another update within a couple weeks or so after testing through to see how well my changes are for the format. I may think about adding some turbo options into BTP in case I really want to go for that Kieran play, but I'll figure it out based on the format. Thank you so much for watching guys, and I will see you next time.